Hello and welcome to my video. So the purpose of this video is that I have ordered 20 of these KSM-440ADM PlayStation PS1 replacement CDs from China. We're going to go through each one, make sure that they work, and then we are going to send the video to the manufacturer, because I already know that 19 of them don't work. So we're just going to go. We're just going to go through this and prove that they in fact do not work. So right now, what you're seeing is the upper left-hand corner is where I've got all the drives. The upper right-hand corner is a close-up of the CD-ROM drive, or what they call laser lens. In the lower left-hand corner, you can see a side view of the actual PlayStation. And in the lower right hand corner you can see the game that's actually running on the PlayStation currently. And so the one I've got right now is one that I have that I know works, and you can see it's obviously working, but it's just kind of a control to prove that this PlayStation does in fact actually work. I'm not attempting to test these on broken PlayStation. So let's go ahead and turn this off. And so right now what you see is the laser lens assembly. And now I've rigged this up so that it will work without the cover on. So typically, PlayStation, you have to have this cover on because there is a safety feature that prevents the laser lens from running if the case isn't on. However, I have rigged it up so that the safety latch is in the on position, so it's not. We're not going to have to worry about putting the top on there for the discs to run, as you saw earlier, because it was running without the case on. So let's go ahead and fire it up real quick. So what you'll see here is that when you first power up a PlayStation, it does three things. It returns the sled to the origin position. The little spindle turns, and the actual laser goes up and down. And so what it's attempting to do, it's attempting to find the disc and bring the disc into focus. And since it's detected that there's no disc, it's stopped. So let's look at that again. So see how the laser is going up and down? That's a good sign. And then also this spins, and had the disc been out to here somewhere, it would have, had the sled been out to here somewhere, it would have returned to origin. However, it's now at origin, so we're not going to see that happen. So let's go ahead and try out the first one. The first one should be the one that was working, if I remember correctly. So let's just that out. So first thing we need to do when putting one of these in is we need to connect this little sometimes it's kind of a tight fit in there, little power cable that we need to connect. and then we have to connect the. So over here we have to connect the data cable, and then the power cable connects in over here as well. Let's see if I can actually kind of get that side in a little. So you see that those are hooked up. So we power this thing on. We see the two things we expect. We see that the spindle spins and the laser is attempting to focus. So let's go ahead and put an actual disc on it. And this is the 1990s classic Nuclear Strike. Very good game. Highly recommend it. It's sad that they discontinued the Strike series. I believe there were 4 in all. There was supposed to be a 5th one, Urban Strike, but the franchise was discontinued, and it ended up getting remade as a different game. So, a little PlayStation history there for you. Well, that doesn't sound good. This was supposed to be the one that worked. Anyway, you can see that it's taking a long time to load through the loading screen. And eventually what's going to happen, I'm guessing, is, well, one or two things we'll see next. One, we'll either see, please insert PlayStation CD-ROM, so it's detecting something, but I've never seen one fail like that before. I'll make sure that let's try that again, because this one should be working. Okay, that was a little weird. Maybe I should return this one too. Huh. Seems to be working fine now.
Nuclear devices come in all shapes and sizes, just like the.
And okay, so you can see that it's now playing the video sequence that the game plays at the beginning of the game. So this one works as we were expecting. Also, go ahead and turn it off. Alright, so this one's working. I'm just going to put it over there on that side, and we'll call that the working pile. Alright, so I have connected the power cable to the device. Alright, that goes there. Plugs in there. So you'll note that the rubber boots that the drive uses to sit are centered on their pins. So let's pull this back off. So see, there's these pins that that the actual laser drive assembly sits on. Alright, so let's put this back on there. Alright. So the pins are correctly situated, power cord's plugged in, and so this should be good to go. So we'll see if this one works. Okay, so it started spinning. That's a good sign. Alright, so this is the PlayStation boot logo. That always comes up, and it stops spinning, and so whenever the PlayStation cannot detect a disc in there, it brings this up. So the screen that we saw earlier when the first one failed was actually a failure of that's the error message that it gives when the copy protection, when a disc doesn't pass the copy protection. So that was a little weird that it didn't work the first time, but this one hasn't worked the first time. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here with this. So it is spinning up, it's focusing, but it wasn't loading the disc. So one more time. And again, it started spinning, but then it stopped, and then it didn't read the disc. So there's something going on. Don't know what, but that's interesting. All right. Alright, so that was the first one that didn't work. So you can see that the power cable is connected to the drive. And you can see that the feet are correctly centered with the pins, and our data and power cable are connected. So let's see how this one does. Alright, so that was a good sign. We saw a little bit of movement on the sled, we saw an adjustment of the laser, and we saw an adjustment, and we saw an attempt to spin. So let's try this with an actual game now. And you can see that that once you actually put the disc on there, it was having a hard time spinning at the correct speed. Not as obvious with the camera because I'm only using 30 frames per second on the camera, because otherwise the file video would be just insanely large. But so let's check our connections just one more time, just to make sure that everything is correct, because occasionally that does happen. Alright, so the power cable is correct. pins, data, power. Let's go ahead and put the disk on. And it's not quite moving like it's supposed to. So it wasn't able to find the disk. It wasn't able to read the disk, so I believe that was number 2. Alright, so you can see that the power is connected to the disk. You can see that the pins are correctly centered, and we've got the power. We've got the data and the power hooked up. All right. So let's see what happens. Alright, looks like it's spinning pretty good. But now it's slowing down. Yeah. Alright. So, let's see what it looks like. So, it spun. We see the laser adjusting. However, it wasn't loading the disk. So we know that the power is hooked up correctly because we did see activity with the drive, and as you can see, the data is correctly hooked up. So again, we've got our pins lined up correctly. So yeah, this guy just doesn't work. Alright, so that was that one. That's 3 defective drives out of 4 so far. I personally would consider a 25% defect rate like that a bad thing. I mean, a 75% defect rate. 25% is the success rate so far. Right. And so you can see that the power is hooked up. So this is number 5 that we're testing. Alright, it's spinning good. And yeah, now it's just... don't know what happened. So you see that it is getting power. Again, the pins are properly aligned with the feet. Data cable is in the correct, is plugged in, and the power cable is plugged in. So let's try this one more time, just to make sure. Yeah, so that's defective. So we are now at 4 out of 5 are defective. Okay, the cable on this one's a little jammed the way they've packed it. There we go. All right. So we got our pins, and notice on this one that the rubber foot is a little deformed. So the power and the data cable are connected, but when we power it on, nothing happens. And so let's just double check that power cable real quick. So you see that it is in there. I've pushed it in pretty good. That one's down there. And double check the... So see that the data and power are connected. And we power it up. Absolutely nothing happens. There's no indication that it's getting any sort of power at all. Okay, so that is 6 units tested, 5 defective. Duh. Alright, so we got our data and our power hooked up on that side, and then you can see that the power cable's hooked up there. Let's see what happens. Alright, so the sled's stuck. It's trying to move it, but yeah, it's just stuck. I mean, there's no point in really even trying to test with a disc if the sled's stuck, but and you can hear that noise too. That's it isn't spinning either. The disc is not spinning. So yeah, that's just broken. So that's 7 units tested and 6 are defective. Alright, so pins are connected. Alright, sitting on the pins good. We got our data, power, and then we've got our little power cable there. So let's see. Yeah, that's another one that's the sled's just not moving. The disc doesn't spin, it's making a terrible noise. Yeah, that one's not working. So we're now at 7 defective, 1 working. Okay, we have our power cable connected to the device. Backwards. Yeah, so these little power cables, you can only plug them in one way due to the way they're designed. So. Whoa! Yeah, so again, you can see the pins are properly aligned. We've got the power and data connected. When we turn it on, it just makes a noise. The sled doesn't move. The disc doesn't spin. If we gave it enough time, you would see that the game doesn't load. And you can hear that terrible noise too. That's not a normal noise to come from a PlayStation. Now 8 defective units out of 9 that have been tested. Alright, so we've got the data and power connected to the motherboard. The device is sitting on the pins correctly, and if you can see, we've got our data's connected, but now we got so yeah, that was kind of pointless to do it in that order. But let's see. Alright, so this one might actually work. Yeah, it's having problems spinning the disc. Yeah, so, alright, that's 9 defective, 1 working. Which means we're halfway through. So there's only 20 units. And we're up to a 90% defect rate so far. right? Yeah, 9 out of 10, so... So you can see the power cables connected to the device. Alright, so here we have the pins are situated, and then we have the data and the power connected. That was interesting. So you can see that nothing's actually moving. However, it is making a noise, a little high-pitched squeal, if you can hear that. So since nothing's moving, let's just move on to the next one. Alright, that's 10 defective units. Alright. Okay, yeah, so this one, see, everything's hooked up correctly, and all it's doing is making another one that's making just a loud noise. You can see that nothing's actually moving. None of the mechanical parts are moving like they're supposed to. And, that mechanical winding noise doesn't indicates that something's not working correctly with the mechanical parts. So this one's defective. That is 11 defective units. So you know what I'm doing is that I'm stacking each row is 5 units, so on the defective side. So that's how I'm keeping track. Alright. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. So as I was rotating the drive to get it in position, the sled moved on its own. Gravity assisted, but that should not happen with these devices. So let's go ahead and see. Yes, this is another one where you can see that we've got everything hooked up correctly. You can tell that it's getting power because it's making a noise, but none of the mechanical parts are actually moving. Alright, that is 12 defective units. Alright, so pins, data, power. You can see that the device does power up. You can see, you saw that the spindle spun and the laser lens adjusted, and there was a little bit of movement on the sled, so maybe this one will work. And the disc is starting to slow down. No. So something's not working there. And let's move on to the next one. Alright, so everything is hooked up like it's supposed to be. Alright, we've got movement on mechanical parts, so that's good. And let's power it up. Oh, let's do that again, just so be thorough. Yeah, so it's just not reading the disk. But so that's 14 defective units. There are 5 more left to test. And there is 1 unit that works. what did it do with the power cable? There it is. Alright, so continue. Power cable. Alright. So everything is connected correctly. Alright, so it looks like we got some movement with all the mechanical parts. Oh wait, this one's actually loading. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember. There was one that looked like it was working and then it got stuck trying to actually load the game. Yeah, so there's... Okay, so it actually made it to the loading screen. Although it's making some really disturbing noises.
Shapes and sizes, just like the lunatic suit. Anyone who tells you that the threat of thermonuclear war is over.
Oh, you know what?
Enemy.
Let's test this one. Alright. That's right.
Hey, yo, Big General, we got a hit on a reprocessing plant.
Okay, the FMV sequences look like they're running pretty good. Hey, let's start this one up just another time just to make sure that it's running reliably. This is the BIOS screen. This is the security screen. The game is actually booting up. And it's taking it a long time to start the first video sequence. Does work. All right. It bothers me that it takes, that it seemed like it was having problems being loaded, but it does load, so I'll give it to the manufacturer that that one works. As that's more of a subjective issue. All right. Yeah, so it. Yeah, this is another one where the sled doesn't move. Laser doesn't adjust, and the spindle isn't spinning. You can tell though that it is powering up because it's making that noise. And then let's, yeah, so cables in there good. You know, so that is 50. Wait, that was. That one was defective. That's right. So that is 15 defective units, 2 functional units. We can see that the device is sitting correctly. We've got our cables hooked up, and there's no indication that it's actually getting any power. So let me double check the power real quick. Yeah. The power wasn't plugged in all the way. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so we've got some movement. So let's see how it works. Yes, this is one of the ones where, so seems like there's something wrong with the spindle on this one. It tries to spin, and it spins a little bit, but not enough to get any real movement on the disc. So yeah, this one's just not gonna work. Alright, so that is 16 defective units. 2 functional units. Alright, so we've got some mechanical movement. Let's look at it. We got our pins correctly, and we got our data cable. So you notice that the white side is always facing this way, and the cable side is always facing that way. Alright. Alright, so we got some spinning going on. Alright. So it's cleared the copy protection check. It's now trying to load the game. This one's loading now.
Nuclear devices come in all shapes and sizes.
Let's give it another whirl, make sure it's not a...
Hey, yo, Big General.
Alright, we'll go ahead and count this one as working. So we are now up to 16 defective, 3 functional, which makes 19 units tested so far, and this is the last one. Alright, it's hooked up correctly. Alright, so we've got our pins centered correctly, and we've got the everything plugged in correctly. Alright, we have some movement, so let's go ahead and test this one. And that's another one that has having some spinning. It's like alright, so that is the 20th unit to test. This time I was able to get 3 of them working, so that's an improvement. However, that means that there are still 17 defective units in all, and so thank you for watching this video, and hopefully this will clear up your any trust issues about whether or not these units work. That was interesting that 2 of them that weren't working before are working now. However, we still have 12 units that aren't working. So, thank you and good day.